Welcome, Hardin County. Let me let Brian in.
Good to be here.
Good to see you. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Quick reminder, if you enjoy Hardin Local, hit the follow or subscribe button wherever you are watching, or you can scan that QR code on this screen, or just go to hardinlocal.com and subscribe. Everything lives there. Episodes, articles, events, and sponsors all in one place. This Hardin Local with Hardin County Government series is also as a standalone podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe and never miss an episode. And if you want the latest from Hardin County Government, follow Hardin County Government on Facebook, and make sure you follow the right one, the one in Kentucky, the one that has that little logo behind Brian's head on it.
Boy, no kidding. That happens all the time with like the sheriff's office, even the library, because there's Hardin counties in other states. And they'll be like, oh no, the such and such. And it's like, that's not us. Please look for the word Kentucky or our actual county.
Yes. And, all right, so let's go. Welcome to Hardin Local with Hardin County Government. I'm Phil Taul. This is our monthly series where we connect you with the departments and people who serve Hardin County. Hard to believe, but this is episode 9 of the season, right, Brian? 9 episodes.
I mean, we started this right after I came here. I've been here almost 10 months. So, we said we wanted to try to get out to the local media every single month. And this was a new feature that we came up with. So,
today
we're doing a cliffhanger for the season finale.
Well, we should come up with something. We'll have to talk about that. That'd be fun. I guess where did I lost my place? So today we're doing something a little different. Instead of a department, we're talking about an office.
Yes.
If I asked you right now, who is your magistrate, could you answer? Most people can't, and that's exactly why we're doing this episode. Joining me is Magistrate Kenny Saltsman from District 2, and as always, Brian Walker, our County Communication Officer. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Brian.
One quick note on why Magistrate Saltsman is our guest. Brian and me wanted to mention that because it's an election time of the year, we wanted to, Brian wanted to bring somebody on from government that doesn't have anything to gain from being here. Magistrate Saltsman is the only magistrate on the court running unopposed, and congratulations for that, sir.
Thank you.
It must make you feel good.
Yes. Really.
So this November, nobody can say we're playing favorites. This episode is about the office, not about any race or politics. So, Brian, before we get into it, what's going on with the county?
Our shredding events, every month we do those pretty much on the first working day of a month. So it's not on the first day of the month. I want to clear that up a little bit. There had been some confusion about that with some of our residents. Or you can come to the events themselves. And this is quite a large bag. You can literally put hundreds and hundreds of pieces of paper in there. Next one is August 3rd. Those are at our road department, which is at Creek Road. It runs from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Please do not arrive early. There is not a queue line. There's not a place to back up, or else you'll be on Bacon Creek Road creating a traffic hazard, and we certainly don't want that. But you fill this bag up, and put all your paper in it. That is shredded. Great way to get rid of your secure documents, bank statements, things like that. And then get you a new bag, go home, do it again. Don't have to bring it every month. You only need to bring it when it's full. For example, my household bag wasn't full last month, so I didn't bring mine. The other thing is we have a lot of other opportunities to help yourself keep things out of our landfill, but to also still dispose of them properly. So we do have a free dump day coming up at our landfill at Pearl Hollow. That'll be 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's going to be coming up. Oh, I've lost my mind. I had it there on the tip of my tongue. Well, let me get back to you on that. I know it's in August. Give me 1 second. I'll find that for you in just a minute. And then we have household hazardous waste and recycling event coming up. And, there it is. It's September 12th. I lied. It's not August. It's September 12th. And then we've got household hazardous waste and recycling. That's coming up for you later in the year, too. And people have been asking about tire amnesty. That's where you bring in your old tires that you may have sitting around at home. Those are only done every 3 years in the state of Kentucky in specific counties. We have 120 counties. So 40 counties do that each year, and then it rotates and rotates. So our next one will not be until 2028, but there are counties adjacent to us that are doing it, and you can check with those folks about making sure that you can get rid of your tires properly. We've got a couple of jobs open on our website, hardincountyky.gov, and you can find those there. Those are in our EMS department. And as always, follow us on our rave alerts. You can sign up for those through the website, hardincountyky.gov. And those are really critical when you have what we've had lately, some pretty bad storms, flooding, and things like that. You'll get an alert on your device. But we do encourage you to have multiple layers of protection. Get a weather radio. Follow your local radio stations, your local TV stations, the National Weather Service, and just keep yourself informed, because one layer of security may not be enough. And that's just a great way to stay informed with that. That's a free service. And you're not getting inundated with things. You're only getting those alerts when it is necessary.
Well, we thank you. And I put that up there. And it's in the comments, too. If you go to the comments and you want to click on the link to Hardin County Gov to sign up, you can do that. If you're too lazy to type it in, go. I know that I am half the time. All right. Magistrate Saltman, before we dig into the office itself, I wanted you to give people a sense of who you are. You're wrapping up your first term as magistrate this year. What did you do before, and what made you want the job?
I own Willie's Upholstery with my dad, Willie, who founded it in 1980. I'm a husband, a father. My wife, Shannon, for 25 years now. We have two boys. Both of them are going to be seniors at Western Kentucky University this fall. The reason that I decided that I wanted to become a magistrate, I've always had a passion for serving. I serve in my church for years and years. As I said, I've kind of taken over the family business of Willie's Upholstery. So in this community, graduating from North Hardin High School, had a lot of friends in the military families. A lot of them joined the military. I decided that I would stay home and work in the family business. So I didn't feel the call to serve my country in that way. So as years went on, I felt that this would be a good opportunity to serve and give back to my local community by being a magistrate. We had a longtime customer, Elizabeth Torrey, in the upholstery shop. She came to become a good family friend, and she became our state senator here in this area. And just seeing her and talking with her, it just gave me more inspiration to want to run for office. And so that's kind of where I got more into the political side of it, and just kind of being encouraged by her.
That's good. I like that. I also know we talked off camera through email.
Yes.
I wanted you to share a little bit about your story about actually becoming magistrate, because I think it took you a couple times.
Yes,
and I think that's a very good story of perseverance. You know, a lot of people try something and it doesn't work out and they quit. You did not do that. So could you explain to us
I appreciate
why
that.
And all that?
Sure. So I ran for the first time in first time ever putting my name on a ballot, ever running a campaign, made a lot of connections that year, learned a lot, and it's very hard to defeat a longtime incumbent who is well liked. So I thought I'm going to give it one more shot in 2018, and so I ran again in 2018 against the very same. Ended up being the longest serving magistrate in the history of Hardin County, and still very well liked, and came up short again. So in 2022, he decided that he was going to retire and not run again. So I thought, hey, this will be a perfect opportunity to give it one more shot. And not only was he my opponent for those two times, this last time in 2022, he endorsed me as a candidate for magistrate, and I don't know if that helped or if that hurt, but here I am, and as you said earlier, this time around will be my fourth time with my name on the ballot, and this time I don't have an opponent, so it's kind of a relief, as you said. Feels good, and just gives me more time to stay focused on the job at hand.
Well, that's a great story. I really enjoy stories of perseverance, just because there's so few people that do it this day and age. And just thank you for your service. And thank you for keep trying. You know.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, let's get started. We'll go to segment 1. And Brian, I got you muted because, but if you mute yourself, I don't have to mute you. Just hit the M key on your keyboard to mute yourself, because there is feedback into your mic, Brian. So just hit that M key, like mom, on your keyboard. Can you do that for me?
Mm-hmm.
Mute yourself. There you go. Now, if you want to talk, You can unmute yourself. If I mute you, you won't be able to unmute.
So does he have to use the U to unmute or the mute?
It's the M key again. And before we actually get into segment one, we had Pam Nolly ask a question to Brian. Can you add old scrapbook paper, old newspapers to the bag?
So actually, the newspapers can be put into our regular recycling trailers, which those are scattered all around the county. You can see those on our website, hardincountyky.gov. And while we're mentioning the trailers, we take plastics number 1 and number 2. And if you see the little triangle on a recycle logo, in the middle of that will be a number, only number 1s and number 2s, cardboard that is non-greasy and not wet, and newspaper. And that's essentially all we take in there. As far as this would be like copy paper and regular paper. But yeah, we'll take the newsprint in those recycling trailers, and that's 24/7 that we'll be able to take those for you. But when you do bring those when you bring those shredding paper, please don't have any paper clips, rubber bands, binder clips, things like that. We actually had a pretty bad rash of that last time. And if we don't catch that and it ends up in the machine, it can cause damage. But the other issue is if we see them, then we have to stop what we're doing and remove those, and it kind of slows the process down. So help us out and just paper in those alone.
All right. Thank you.
Just to piggyback on that, if that's all right, I think the shredding event is more for your sensitive information and not like newspapers and things like scrapbooks and things like that. So, but the scrapbook, I don't know. I guess if you want to, I don't know why you would want to recycle a scrapbook, but
a divorce, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe.
I would just burn it if I was them,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sorry.
let's not get into the weeds on that. Yeah. Segment 1, it's not a judge, Magistrate 101. So let's start with the biggest misconception. You hear the word magistrate and you picture somebody in a robe hearing cases. There's no courtroom. There might be a gavel, I think. So what is a Kentucky magistrate?
So in Kentucky, magistrates are the elected members of the county's legislative body. And here in Kentucky, it's known as the Fiscal Court. Here in Hardin County, we have 8 different magistrates, 8 different districts, and each magistrate, along with our judge executive, comprise the Fiscal Court. And so we all, when we're in court, we all have the same powers and the same amount of votes, just 1 vote apiece. And so the judge executive is in the name executive. He's not a judge either with the robe in the court, but he runs the day-to-day operations and executes the executive duties that the court lays out for him to execute for us. Our magistrates, we represent citizens who live within a specific district, and as I said, my district is number 2. But we also, so we're the voice for those citizens in our district. That doesn't stop someone who lives in, say, Rineyville or Westview or wherever to give me a call and have a problem in their area that I don't represent. We all feel like we represent Hardin County, but we're only elected by our certain citizens in our district.
Brian we're talking yesterday, said there was some history there from the late 1970s. Brian, did you want to talk?
Yeah, so Kentucky literally rewrote the book on Kentucky revised statutes. And at that point, we did away with some things like bail bondsmen. If you are picked up and put into our jail system in the state of Kentucky, your bond is figured out by the court system. And then you as an individual will deal with the court system directly, revolving paying of a bond or issuing a bond. And there's not that middleman. Then there were a lot of other changes to the laws and procedures. And one of those was the establishment of a separate thing called a fiscal court. And your judge executive no longer hears speeding cases and DUIs and things like that. They're running the county government. And a simple way to put this, I guess, is a judge executive is kind of like a mayor, and all the different magistrates are kind of like the city council, but on a county-wide level. I guess that's dumbing it down about as easy to explain it as anything. But this all changed in the late 70s. So if you're a person who's old enough to remember that, it is very different than it used to be. But Kentucky is an old state. It's a very old state. So some of the laws, the way they were written and the terminology isn't really applicable to the current modern world. You and I laughed about this, Phil. Mm-hmm. You have to, when you're taking an oath, swear that you've never fought in a duel or been someone's second in a duel. Magistrate Saltsman, I'm pretty sure, never fought him. Wonder he couldn't have taken the oath. But have you personally ever even known anybody to be in a duel? Doesn't really come up these days. So
it really doesn't. But that's just Kentucky for you, really.
Still on the books.
That's a great Commonwealth, not a state, right? But yeah, that's cool. So back to you, Kenny. So the fiscal court, 8 magistrates plus the judge executive. That's the county's legislative body. What does the body actually vote on?
So we vote. There's several different things that we can vote on. We oversee the county roads and the bridges. We oversee the EMS emergency services for our ambulances. We're over the solid waste and the recycling department, the animal control, the county buildings, emergency management, and the budget, which is the big one. And we set the tax rate for your county for the county taxes. So there's several different things. We also approve the personnel hirings and firings. We approve I had another train of thought there that I was going with, and I forgot where I was going with it. But yeah, so we have the employees and different things. We each month or each court we get a list of the claim that where the county has spent money, and we approve the spending of every dollar that goes through the county.
All right, you mentioned the budget. Without getting into any specific budget talk, walk us through the overall process. How does Hardin County arrive at a final budget?
So our judge executive, he will come up and he's charged with coming up with the budget. He will come up with a budget. At that time, it's what they call the judge's budget. He usually he works on that for several months. He gets with the department head, finds out their needs, their want, their wish list, and kind of puts that in the budget. He narrows it down some. Decides what's good for them, what's not. And then he will present that. This last couple of years, it's been presented to the fiscal court in a meeting, and then after that, we usually have a finance committee meeting. And this last year we started. I was trying to think last night. I couldn't remember if we started at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, but we didn't get finished with that meeting until late in the afternoon. We brought in lunch, had a working lunch, and so we kind of had a long day. But when the magistrates, when the court receives the budget, we get it, and then we have it on our own probably a week or two before we actually have that committee meeting. So we have a chance of ourselves. And personally, I go through it line by line and look at each thing. I look at last year's budget. Actually, it's the current year budget, and kind of compare it to our next year's proposed budget. And then I also look at our lines of what we actually spent this year, of how much we actually budgeted, to see if maybe we're over budgeting certain things. And then, as I said, we all meet together, and then once we're all together, we do it again. We go line by line. Anybody has a question, what is this for? Where's it from? We get those questions answered, and then we work together as a court to come up with we decide to either accept the judge's budget as proposed, or in those committee meetings we work and make changes. And then once the changes are made, or if we decide to stay with it, we have a first reading. We read the budget as presented, either as presented or our changes. We vote on that. We have the vote. If it passes, then we have to send it to the Department for Local Government in Kentucky, and they review it, make sure there's no mistakes, make sure everything is legal and correct. And then that comes back to our treasurer. And if there's anything that needs to be taken care of, she takes care of that. Otherwise, if everything was good, we have what we call a second reading of it, and that's when we actually adopt the new budget.
And I think that shows. I think that shows, Phil, that no one person can have an agenda or a specific pet project or something that, unless it is agreed on by a majority of at least 5, it's not going to go through. And I think it's great that we don't have 9 people who exactly agree on everything and rubber stamp it, because that could get dangerous. You could have all kinds of things happen with your county government, with your funding, that the majority of people don't agree with, but you could get 9 people to 100% agree on. And I think it's good to have some back and forth and some discussion and some opposing viewpoints. I think it's very healthy. Otherwise, like I said, it could set a dangerous precedent if everybody just voted the same all the time. And I think, again, without getting into specifics, I think Magistrate Saltsman would agree. There are times that there are others on the court you agree on a specific instance with, and then completely opposite of that very same person on another issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good too, because if it was just everybody gonna agree, then it'd just be one person, and you wouldn't have everybody else.
Yeah, we have to remember that we represent our district, and we have to look out for things in our district, but we also have to remember that every decision that we make is going to affect the whole county, not only now but in the future, also for future generations. And so it is a long process. You mentioned that the budget is a long process. It's a several month process. On the judge has a little longer process because he's got to come up with it first. So, but we all take it very serious, and it's a lengthy process. And as I said, the DLG goes over it. I mean, they're not telling us where we should spend our money, but they're just making sure that the lines are correct and things like that. So it's good that we have that second oversight also.
Well, yes, I agree. All right. Well, let's move on to the next segment, which is just talking about districts and how they work. You're from District 2, but there are 8 total. I learned prepping for this. The numbers basically start at the top of the county and work its way down. So District 2, give us a quick bird's eye view of what District 2 actually covers.
Sure. So the quickest way I can say it, I'm not sure if some of the others are going to know where exactly the geographical area I'm talking about, but if you start at Vine Street in Radcliffe, which is up off of Dixie Highway, there's an intersection there where the Walgreens is at. If you head down Vine Street, everything on the left side of Vine Street is District 2. If you look to the right side, on the north side of Vine Street, you are in District 1. So they use Vine Street as a boundary line. And then I go all the way down south to Jenkins Road, which is where the elementary school, the middle school, and John Hardin High School are at. And if you turn on Jenkins from 31W, the left side is not my district, but the right side is my district, although I don't have very many voters at the schools. But so that kind of incorporates it. And then if you go down Wilson and hit Deckard School Road, everything on the left side of Deckard School Road is not my area, but the right side of Deckard coming from John Hardin High School is my area. And that goes down up until you get to Cedar Glen, I believe is the name of the road, off of Deckard School Road. And so everything kind of in that circle is District 2. And as you said, we have District 1 and 3, 4. It kind of started at the top and kind of makes a clockwise circle, I think.
Yeah, and I just dropped in the comments the link to the Hardin County Government District Magistrate District Map.
Yeah, that's a great tool that you can type in your address and it will tell you who your magistrate is. And then the website also gives you the contact information for your magistrate. And as I said before, if you happen to know someone who is the magistrate and you're not in their district, feel free to reach out and give them a call. We all work for the entire county. We're not, I'll help you out if you're in Westview or wherever, and then I'll contact the magistrate over there and let them know, hey, they're kind of concerned with this, and we all work together to try to get things taken care of.
Yeah, and once somebody knows who their magistrate is, what's the right way to reach a magistrate? Would it be their phone, email, catch you at the gas station? I don't know.
I have been caught at the gas station and Walmart a few times, but for me, I don't check. I don't get alerts when I get emails, and so emails are kind of checked periodically through the day. But the quickest and easiest way to reach me would be my telephone number. And if it's okay, I don't mind to give that out now if people would like to know that.
I mean, you can give that out. I'm also going to give them the link to the website where they
like I said, on the website, it has all of our contact information, our county email, and our telephone numbers. So, for me, it's kind of whatever the constituent feels comfortable doing. If they want to call and talk, I'm 24 hours a day, wide open. I do turn my phone on silent when I'm going to sleep, so it may not come through. But yeah, I'm most easily accessible through my telephone. But if they don't feel like that they want to be able to talk, they would prefer email. That's perfectly fine also.
Alrighty. I think I put the wrong link in there. I was trying to find that link to the what is it? The directory.
Yeah, it's kind of elected.
The staff directory. Here we go. Yeah, now I got it. We'll go ahead and drop this in the comments so people can use it to find. There we go. So I put that link in there. It's right here. It says Hardin County Gov /directory. You can type anybody's name in there and find their contact phone number and email. All right, let's move on. Segment 3. I want to know more about the job day to day. Let's demystify the job itself. Is being a magistrate full-time or part-time?
So we all have regular jobs, unless some of them on the court are retired. So I do still run my upholstery shop. But as I said, I'm available 24 hours a day for calls. If I get a call, I'll drop what I'm doing and try to take care of it. So it can be a full-time job very easily. When we have the snowstorms, we've got people calling, wanting to know when's my road going to get this, myself, I've gone out and rode on snow plows. Your dad's done it. We've all been out and see what they do in the trenches, and it's eye opening to see all of that. And so for me, I like to do that because after everything's over and I've got people still complaining, well, why didn't this happen? I'm said, well, you know what? I was on a truck and we tried to plow that road and the blade just bent right over because of all the ice on the road, and it didn't touch it. So, you can see it firsthand, or you can take it from the road supervisor. But when you can tell them, I know for a fact that this is what's happening, and this is what they're doing. It's for me, it's just better to be in the weeds and to know for yourself how to answer those questions to your constituents.
They're called a snow plow. They're not called an ice plow.
Ice scraper. Yeah, that's right.
And the brand name on it is actually called Snow Dog. It's not called an ice dog. It's not meant to chisel through 4 inches of ice. So not to get back on a subject from earlier in the year, but yeah, that's a very good point, So.
Oh, yeah. We had lots of conversations about that in the past. So what does a normal week actually look like for a magistrate?
Yeah, so if we have citizens that call us, we'll meet with citizens and discuss things, answering any constituent concern. We get our agenda usually on I believe it's late Thursday for our upcoming Tuesday meeting, and I spend that weekend looking over the agenda, studying our budget a lot, contracts that we're doing. Of course, we rely on our county attorney to make sure that those are all legal. Have contracts. We want to look over them and make sure that what we're doing is what we need to be doing for the community. We serve on committee. We're assigned to one committee. And I'm on the Community Resources Committee, which I think you wanted to talk a little more about that here in a little bit. But so we also have other committees, and we're not required to attend those. But in my opinion, now it's a little easier. I can go back and watch the video and not have to actually be there in person. But if there's something that I want to ask a few questions about that's on the agenda, I'll make sure that I'm there to get that covered and get a question. So we're attending committee meeting. We work with our local state officials. We work with our local city councils, mayors. We work with them to try to solve any problem we can for anybody. And you had a question on there coming up. If I get a question that's not county government related, what do we do with it? And that's when we call our local. Whether it's a state problem, we'll call the state representative or our state senator. We'll call our mayors or some city council members and make sure we get it taken care of one way or another. So yeah, we just kind of balance the needs of each district. Also, like I said, as county.
What about the meeting rhythm? You got regular physical court meetings, work sessions, committees. Walk us through how often can public attend? What can they attend or what can they watch?
Sure. Yeah, so they can attend any of them. So our fiscal court meetings, we have one on the second Tuesday at 3:30 in the afternoon. And then on the fourth Tuesday of the month at 5:30, we have our second fiscal court meeting of the month. Throughout the month, this week right now, we just had our Emergency Services Committee meeting and our Public Works meeting. The public is encouraged to attend those if they'd like. The only thing that, since we don't have, you mentioned work sessions, we don't have work sessions. So we have kind of cut out any public comment during our committee meeting, so we can kind of stay focused on the task at hand. Since we don't have work sessions and aren't really allowed to do those because we can't have a quorum to make any decisions. So we're just there at the other committee meetings that we're not a part of to gather information, and so we're not making any decisions in our committee meetings, but we're there to gather information. And so, like I said, we had those two this week, and then upcoming next week we're going to have the community resources meet on. I think it's this coming week. No, it's not this coming week. It's the week after that. I'm sorry, because this coming Tuesday is fiscal court, and then the week after that is going to be on Monday at 3:30. All of our committee meetings are at 3:30. We will have our community resources, and then the next day on Tuesday will be our finance committee. And so, yeah.
All right, and people can find these meetings on when they're scheduled on the website, right?
Sure. Yes. They have a full schedule of every time we meet on the website. Also, if they want to see the agendas for our fiscal court, that's also on the website. And attached to the back of that is the monthly calendar for when our meetings are going to be, each committee meeting and the time. We meet on the third floor here in the conference room for our committee meetings. And, we started out, we started having them at 5:30 so the public could attend a little more. It kind of made it a little tough because we had some of our employees staying late, and that's who we get our information from is our employees. And if they're having to stay after hours, we just didn't feel it was fair for them to have to take one of their nights out. So we moved it back to 3:30 and during their regularly scheduled time.
Now on the website, every time we have one of these meetings, anytime they're fiscal court, committee meetings, town hall, what have you, all of those are streaming live, just like this is. And then they're documented and archived in perpetuity. And then by and large, we will actually share those on our Facebook page. So if you're unable to attend, as Magistrate Saltsman said, you'll still be able to see those and be able to interact with what's going on and keep informed that way too.
And after watching a meeting of your own, if you want to give us one of a call and find out what that, I had a lady call me one time. She read something in the paper about the sheriff's budget, and she said, "I don't understand what this means." And so I kind of answered the question, and then I called over to the sheriff's department, and Terry Bennett called her and gave her details of exactly what it was, and so it's anytime you see something, you feel free to reach out. Yeah, that's what we're here for.
All right. Let's see. I lost my place. Let's get back on it. All right. So, you said you serve as co-chair on the Community Resource Committee. What is Community Resource, and what does being a co-chair entail?
Sure. Yeah. So the Community Resources Committee is we kind of oversee the human resources, the HR department here at county government. The library, Hardin County Library, the director over there comes and is on the committee with us. We have our animal control, that's part of our committee. We have our IT department is also on our committee, and we always have Sarah Jo from the health department. She comes in, she's part of our committee, and she always has very good information to give us, and now that they're being streamed, it's great because everybody gets to hear that presentation now. So people can understand what a magistrate does and what we do. She does that to us every committee meeting and lets us know what our health department does for us, and that's very informative.
That's pretty cool.
And
I've actually checked out the YouTube channel recently, and you guys you put a bunch of stuff on there. It's pretty, if you could sit through, like I think I watched part of that budget thing, and it was that work. You said it was 8 hours long. I had to use AI to analyze it for me, get the transcript and have it go through it because it was just so long. I was like, I don't even really know what's going on here.
Sure. Yeah.
But, considering there's a lot you're doing, I don't think people realize you don't just win an election and start, after voting on things, there's actual training, right? What did that look like?
Yes, yeah. So I believe it's in December after the election, the Kentucky Association of Counties, which is an association here that county government is a part of, they will provide newly elected officials training, and you can kind of go there and they'll give you kind of the rundown of what when I went 4 years ago, they did a mock fiscal court meeting and had a county attorney there, your county clerk, and you kind of see how county business is going to work. It's like it's kind of like taking water from a fire hose, drinking water from the fire hose. You get a lot of information. There's presenters. It's usually, I think it was a 2-day conference, and you're just getting all kinds of information and learning different things. And it's a great time there. And all the conferences that they do, they give us a training, but it's also a great time to network with other counties. What's working over there? How are you doing your jail? How are you doing this? How's this working for you? And see if you could take any of that back to Hardin County, to help our area also. But so they have the training. We also have the Kentucky Magistrates and Commissioners Association that gives us trainings throughout the year. They have conferences. They'll do virtual trainings, kind of like what we're doing here. We'll jump on a Zoom call and they'll have a presenter and give us information and different bullet points and slides. And then we also have the Kentucky Judges Association that the magistrates can go to their conference and get training also. I've gone to trainings in Frankfurt that's put on by the state. When I first came on, I was appointed to the Public Works Committee. And so I went and learned about some of our dump, the landfill, different things like that, recycling programs, different things like that. Got some training that way. It's that's kind of what we do at the Community Resources Committee is what I said about our HR and our library, animal control, our Public Works. That's more of our road department, our engineering services department. I kind of wanted to give you a rundown of what each committee does, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we've kind of broken county government down in 4 different committees. The emergency services, which kind of speaks for itself. That's going to be our emergency management, our EMS, our coroner's office, sheriff's department, all different things, and discuss what needs to come to court, what doesn't. And then we have finance, which, as that one kind of speaks for itself. We talk about how we're going to pay for things and how's the state of the county, budget-wise. Is there grant opportunities here, grant opportunities there, and different things. And so it's kind of broken down that way. And also, since we kind of cut the public out from speaking to us during our committee meetings, we implemented the quarterly town hall meeting where the citizens can come and with no restriction, as long as it's county government related, they can ask anything they want. No time limit. We're there as long as they want to stay. And they can bring concerns or ideas, anything that they want at those town halls.
When's the next one of those coming up?
We just had one, so it's going to be, that one was in June, so 3 months out from there, June, July, August, sometime in September, I think.
Okay. So I want to talk a minute about how an issue becomes... Sorry. Did I interrupt you? Did you have something else?
No, I just saw Brian over there typing. I thought maybe he was looking up our town hall meeting.
He might be.
Yeah,
we'll wait on him. He'll jump in if he does. I want to talk a little bit about how an issue becomes action. And I think this could be useful part of the episode for people. Say I've got a pothole, a drainage problem after all this rain. Who do I call and what happens to my complaint after that?
As I've stated, you can give me a call. You give if it's a speeding problem. If you want to call one of us for that. All I can do is relay it to the sheriff. He's his own elected official. If it's in the county, he's his own elected official. I can't boss him around. But, so any problems like that, they're more than welcome to give it to me, or they can call the respective department. Once I receive it, I will. It was Dwight Morgan. Now it's Michael Steck. Both of them have done a great job for us. And I just give them a call. If back before Dwight left, Michael was his assistant. So I've dealt with Michael the whole time that I've been here also, but now that he's I just give him a call. And a lot of times I had a problem on a road, a constituent called, and Dwight and Michael both came out and looked at it. And so when they came out and we looked at it together, I showed them what the problem was. We looked at it together, and they went back and they made a plan and made it happen and made it come out. Same way with animal control. If someone's seeing a loose dog, they call me, I'll call them. Or you can call animal control yourself. It's however, as I said before, whatever you're comfortable with is
Okay.
we're here for you.
How much of what constituents bring to you is actually government's problem? I guess a lot of it is, I don't know who else to call, so I called my magistrate.
And that's perfectly fine. Sometimes, as Brian can attest, we get blamed for the roundabouts coming into town, and that's not really a county problem.
We have never built a roundabout with county funds, nor have we ever engineered one. County roads have not had roundabouts installed on them. Those have all been done by other agencies.
Exactly. You get a complaint about a roundabout, we just kind of look around it,
Yeah, but there's no dumb question, in other words, that you'll know if it's not your responsibility.
No, and like I said, we have relationships with our state legislators. If it is a state issue, I will contact one of them. If it's a city issue, which most of my District 2 is in the city of Radcliffe, so I don't have a whole lot of roads in my area that are county roads. I think I've got 9 to 12. I can't remember the number off the top of my head. 9 to 12 miles of county road, which is a lot different than District 8 or District 7, which is pretty much all county roads. So, if there is a problem with a city road, I'll either direct them to the mayor, or a lot of times I'll let them know, hey, you need to call City Hall, and I also reach out to City Hall and talk to the mayor or a city council person that I know.
Right. You kind of already gave us a real example about that pothole example. I didn't know if you prepared another story.
Well, I don't. It's tough to just come up with one story.
Yeah,
you had on there that you'd like to have a good story. I've got probably 3 good stories. It won't take very long at all. It's not really a story. I'll make it all one story. But so we had, with the town hall, people were upset that we had stopped them from speaking at committee meetings. So we implemented the town hall. After we had the town hall, implemented that, we've had some constituents come to our town halls. We had a lady, there was a fatality on Springfield Road, and she came and spoke to us at the town hall, and we got that. Hopefully, you can't rectify everything, but made some improvements. We added some guardrails out there, some more signage to try to let everybody know, hey, this is a really sharp curve. So that's some things. Another, I've had people call about. I had someone who wasn't in my district. They called complaining that somebody had dumped a trailer full of shingles. Apparently, it was a roofer who didn't want to take it to the dump, so he just dumped it on the side of the road. And we're lucky that we have a great jailer and a great crew that will go out and pick up those things. Our cleanup crew at the jail is excellent. Our jail does a great job. Anytime I have someone call that there's a couch on the side of the road or whatever, I'll call him and they're on it that day. If they're not on it that day because I've called too late, they're on it the next day. And they do a great job. And it's just teamwork here in Hardin County, taking care of all those different, there's so many stories that you get, so many calls that you get. It's hard to pick out one, but the guardrails on Springfield Road is probably the most impactful, I would think.
Yeah, I agree. So we're wrapping up here. There's a question I had that I'm going to not ask it because you've already pretty much answered it.
Sorry, I kind of...
No, it's all good. It's fine. It really is. We've gone plenty long on already. So I think this question, you've been in the seat for almost 4 years now. I just want to know, what surprised you most once you took office that you didn't expect?
So in fiscal court, we get reports from our different elected officials. We get reports from the coroner, the jailer, the sheriff's department. I've had this question a lot. What was the biggest surprise? And I'm going to be honest. The biggest surprise for me coming into office is when we get that report from the coroner's office, all of the fatality, the overdoses that we have here in Hardin County, the fatal overdoses, that was a staggering number for me. I don't know if I had blinders on or what it was, but or just wasn't in the know. But that is very concerning, and it was very the number of overdose deaths that we have here in Hardin County each month, and we get that report once, I believe, a quarter. And he breaks it down by months, and it's just a staggering number for me. And that was, I mean, that's probably not the answer you were looking for. Probably more.
I mean, I think it gives me an opportunity to say, hey, Brian.
Yeah, there you go.
Brian, you over there?
Awareness.
Maybe we should pull out your bag and remind people, that they should be prepared for, like, maybe something that could happen to somebody. And a lot of people get rubbed the wrong way about this topic. And, there's tons of ways that you can have something like Narcan or something like that to help people. I know Brian has it in his desk. He's shown it many a times on
There
screen.
You go.
And this is the thing I say. You're like, well, Brian, you're on the third floor of the county government building. Why would you ever need Narcan? You don't know. You just don't know. Somebody could accidentally get exposed to it. Somebody could come into contact with it and not mean to. But the other thing is, nobody ever said, I think I'd like to get hooked on drugs, or I think I'd like to expose myself to something that could potentially harm or even unalive me. So we owe it to ourselves and to the public to be prepared and take the legality out of it and all that. That's not what this is. It's just an opportunity to save a life. So
yeah. And
I'm glad you brought it up. I think it's an important topic. Go ahead.
Well, we had a conference. One of our trainings at a conference, they had a lady came in and spoke about how her son OD'd in college, and it was an accident. He thought he was taking something to help keep him awake to study, and it was laced with fentanyl, and it just it's not. As Brian said, I didn't do it to get hooked. I mean, this kid wasn't hooked. It was he just got a hold of the wrong thing, and so I
think we all know at least one person that this happened to.
Oh, exactly.
It's sad.
Yeah,
man, it really is.
Yeah, and for me, that was the biggest eye opening, and I'm really proud of our coroner's office. They've got the QR team running, the quick response team. That may be a segment you guys may want to work on. We started up. It kind of went not so well, not the way we were wanting it, and so we're still in the process of revamping it, but they're still doing some great things.
Okay. And just a reminder to anybody that may be experiencing depressing thoughts and needs somebody to talk to, you can always call 988. Pretty sure that's the suicide and crisis lifeline.
I think you're correct. I think that is a new number that they came out with. Yes.
Yeah, 988. Let's let you answer one. Make it an easy one. Anything the court's done during your term that you're proud of?
Ooh, wow, there's so many things over the last 4 years that we've done. You had me. You gave me an update to answer that question. Kind of gave me a heads up, but that one was one that has been really really hard. It's hard, as I said, with calls and stories. It's hard to have one thing that you're really proud of. This court has done some great work.
Maybe I could rephrase it to just one of the things you're proud of. Maybe the first thing that pops into your head. Maybe not it may not be the most. It may not be any more important than those.
More impactful. Yeah. I'm just proud of the way this court has continued to try to unite and decide that and realize that we are working for the betterment of our county and our future. Set aside any individual ideas that we have and work collectively. Okay. And I think it took a while, but I think we're coming around.
That's great to hear. Well, Magistrate Saltsman, Brian, thank you. The takeaway today: know your district, know your magistrate, and when something wrong, you now know exactly how to get in front of the county. The district lookup link is in the comments below, so you can find out who your magistrate is if you don't know. And one more time on Brian's items: sign up for rave alerts. Don't rely on one source for severe weather. The Barks and Badges and Best Friend event is next week, and the Household Hazardous Waste event is coming up in August. It's all at hardincountyky.gov, and follow Hardin County Government on Facebook. our next episode will be in August. We'll have the date. Do we know the department yet?
I believe we'll have the coroner's office. That is the
Coroner's
intention. So
There you go.
again, a lot of confusion. What is a coroner? Why do we have it? What do they do? So looking forward to speaking to our elected coroner, Pat Elmore, and his first assistant, Shana Norton.
So follow Hardin Local so you don't miss it next month. Also, go follow Hardin County Government's Facebook page because they'll announce it too. And they don't only do this with us; they also do it with the TV. What's that TV station?
HCEC TV.
Yeah, and you do it with Quixie as well, right? So
And the Wolf also.
We just added the Wolf starting this week. We were on this morning with Greg Milby.
okay, that's great. I'm glad to see Greg back behind the mic.
Yes,
buddy.
That's pretty cool.
Mr. Taul, I wanted to thank you for this opportunity to share with our community what a magistrate is, what we do, and that we, as Brian and I were talking earlier, we probably have the most impact on the citizens at this level than they do at the federal level. We touch almost every part of your life. So
It's really crucial and important. I agree. Policy making.
I appreciate the opportunity to let everyone know how important their magistrate system and their fiscal court works for them.
Well, you guys are welcome. I appreciate you guys coming on. And before we log off, I just want to remind people that are running for office in November, we're still accepting candidate interviews. You can register by July 15th on our website. Kenny, I know you're not running unopposed, so you don't need to do a candidate interview.
Yeah.
But if we have time, I may bring on some of the people that aren't running. Because you're still running, you just don't have anybody running against you,
Sure.
Yeah. So, yeah. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that until July 15th. So if you haven't signed up yet, get on that. I think we have about 60 of the 70 people registered now. So
wow.
It should be fun. Yes. So
We got a lot of work to do.
I do have a lot of work to do. It should be fun. We'll probably have one of those long live streams like I did for the primary. So I'll have to pack all my food right here and just get ready to enjoy a day in front of the screen. But thank you guys for coming. And don't forget, I will put this episode after I edit it. It will be everywhere, plus on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Usually I get this episode edited by tomorrow. It should be out by tomorrow morning. So thank you guys for joining us. Anything else that I missed, Brian?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Have a great afternoon, Hardin County, and we will see you on Tuesday.